I'd been with my boyfriend Ryan Harper for 3 years. I noticed all his social media handles were named July. Assuming he adored the romantic month of July, I never pressed further. On our wedding day, his ex-girlfriend sent a gift with the name July elegantly inscribed on the box. Suddenly, everything clicked. He hadn't loved the month, but the girl named July. My heart plummeted like a stone into icy waters. During our reception, a girl in a white sundress drank herself into a stupor. Ryan's face darkened as he snapped, "Stop making a scene." Ignoring him completely, she flashed me a wobbly grin. "Hey sis. Heard you're pregnant. Picked a name yet?" I instinctively cradled my bump, answering softly, "We're calling the baby July." "July?" Her gaze swung back to Ryan as laughter bubbled up, tears glistening at her lashes. "How can you name it July when he abandoned July?" My smile faltered, confusion knotting my stomach. The heavy silence shattered when Ryan's childhood friend blurted, "My classmate's wasted, I'll take her to a hotel." After they left, I tentatively asked, "Ryan, who was that?" He met my eyes without flinching. "Just an old classmate." When I opened my mouth to press further, he smoothly diverted, "Honey, my clients hammered, gotta check on them." The words died on my tongue as I watched him hurry away, his retreating figure stirring inexplicable dread. My best friend Mia found me clutching an ornate gift box. She slammed it onto the table. "Your rival left this." My pulse spiked, visions of the weeping girl in white flooding my mind. That drama queen sobbing over someone else's husband. Mia scoffed. "Pathetic." Mia squeezed my shoulder. "Relax, Ryan's the ultimate wife guy. He'd never cheat." She was right. Ryan worshipped me. Our love story was legendary. I exhaled slowly, determined to shake off paranoia. Fidgeting with the box's ribbon, my fingers froze on the embossed name, July. 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 The realization detonated like a grenade. My spine crumpled as the world went dark. "Emily! Why are you crying?" Mia panicked. "Where's Ryan? I need Ryan." I thrust my phone at her with trembling hands. "Video call him, now." We tried 18 times. 18 rejections. When Ryan finally answered via voice call, my tear-soaked wedding veil clung to my cheeks like a shroud. His voice was raspy. "Honey. What's wrong? Where are you?" By then, my composure had completely shattered. I hesitated momentarily before deflecting. "I'm coming home right now." I demanded hysterically. "Are you at the hotel? You went to see her, didn't you?" My words dissolved into choked sobs as I crumpled against the wall, nasal voice trembling. "Ryan. Tell me, who is July?" Dead silence answered me, clutching my chest. I wept violently until my breath came in ragged gasps, my tear ducts finally running dry. The bitter irony crushed me. On our wedding day, my husband had abandoned me for his first love. 3 years together. 3 years of watching Ryan's every social media profile bear that cursed name July. When I'd asked about baby names during my pregnancy, he'd instantly suggested July. Though I'd questioned the significance, I'd respected his privacy. Now the truth gutted me. My child's name would forever memorialize his lost love. How could you use our baby to commemorate your dead romance? My fingernails dug into my palms. What was I to you? What were these 3 years? Ryan burst into the private room half an hour later, sweat-drenched and breathless. He dismissed Mia with a terse nod before crouching before me. "July was my ex," he stated flatly. "How long?" 7 years. "Time apart?" 4. "Do you still love her?" His silence screamed confirmation. Bitter laughter bubbled from my raw throat. "Why torment each other? She crashes our wedding. You abandon me for her. Stop this." Ryan grabbed my wrists as I tore at my veil. "Nothing happened, I just needed to check on her." "Will you always run to her when she cries?" My voice rose shrilly. After an eternity, he spoke, I'll still marry you. Let this go. Lightning seemed to strike my skull. You think this wedding is some charitable gift? I staggered backward, cold sweat drenching my wedding gown. A sudden flutter in my abdomen doubled me over, our baby's first kick arriving amidst this wreckage. Ryan reached to steady me, brow furrowed. I recoiled from his touch, the movement sending fresh waves of physical and emotional agony coursing through me. Our child's inaugural movement would forever be tainted by this moment of betrayal. I couldn't control myself and screamed at him. Don't touch me, you're filthy. Stop this. Okay? Ryan stared at my stomach and sighed. I never wanted to separate from you. Really. His words made me nauseous. He was revolting. If I'd never met him, I could have had a pure, untainted love. I could have been happy. He ruined everything. I grabbed my phone and hurled it at him. Cancel the wedding. We're getting divorced now. Ryan froze. Seconds later, his expression hardened into something icy. You grew up in a single-parent household. He sneered. Do you really think your mother would let you divorce while pregnant? I never imagined Ryan would use my family background to hurt me. My heart splintered into 1,000 shards, each one being gnawed, dissolved, pierced. I slumped against the wall, clutching my head as violent sobs tore through my throat until it burned raw. I didn't even notice when he left. After that day, Ryan and I plunged into permanent cold warfare. I moved back to my childhood home. As he'd pointed out, I was raised by a single mother. Before my father died, she'd endured decades of an emotionally absent marriage. Now she couldn't fathom my pain. When Ryan came to retrieve me, she practically pushed me out the door. He's giving you an out, take it and move on. She kept rapping on my bedroom door. Stop hiding. Get out here. I begged her. Mom, please send him away. You're carrying his child. What's there to fight about? Swallow your pride already. I can't. I just can't. Marriage requires turning a blind eye sometimes. She yanked the blanket off me, then softened slightly when she saw my bloodshot eyes. Besides, Ryan never actually cheated. This isn't about physical affairs. My voice cracked. Emotional betrayal cuts deeper. For 3 years, he lay beside me fantasizing about another woman. What does that make me? You overthink everything. Let me be clear, no matter how you two bicker, divorce is off the table. I won't endure that shame. It was my first rebellion against her. I'm leaving him. She glared like I'd personally failed her. This is your own fault. If you were perfect in every way, Ryan wouldn't still crave his ex. Mom, I covered my ears, choking on despair. Stop. Just stop. Suffocation replaced air in my lungs. Grief overflowed until tears couldn't cling to my lashes. Why was I being punished when I'd done nothing wrong? Since when did the world become this cruel? I returned to Ryan under duress. In our marital bedroom, he thrust his phone at me. Check it yourself. After we broke up, Mia and I never spoke again. I didn't take it. Does that erase her from your mind? Ryan didn't answer. His knuckles whitened around the device. Finally, he opened WeChat and searched July in his alumni group. The last message appeared. Ryan, I'm getting married. A classmate replied, Mia never mentioned it to us? Ryan, not to her. The chat died. Minutes later, Mia at him, congrats. Wouldn't miss your big day. He didn't object. He said, okay. On our wedding day, July showed up wearing a white lace dress, sitting in the audience like a bride herself. Ryan standing beside me at the altar choked up multiple times during our vows, barely holding himself together. My best friend had gushed afterward. Emily, you've really married the right man. Ryan actually cried during the ceremony. He's so devoted. Looking back now, I want to laugh. Ryan's acting skills were truly masterclass. Everyone assumed he'd been reminiscing about our years together during those emotional vows. But the truth was, he'd been worried about July sobbing in the front row. See? I told you there's nothing between me and July. Ryan's voice snapped me back to reality. I closed my eyes, ready to tell him to get lost when his childhood friend called. Ryan, July's been hospitalized. The urgent voice crackled through the speaker. His body stiffened as he gave me that complicated look. I need to go. We're still legally married. My fingers dug into his forearm. I won't let you. He massaged his temples irritably. Why can't you be reasonable like before? You're being ridiculous. I shoved him toward the door. The moment he left, an unknown number texted, Emily. Ryan never loved you. Give him back. Watching him marry you was worse than death. Truthfully, I'd never blamed July before this. My hatred focused solely on Ryan for building his love on my pain. But reading that message, I realized they were two of a kind equally repulsive and selfish. If they loved each other so much, they should rot together instead of ruining others' lives. Though until the divorce papers are signed, July remains the homewrecker. And homewreckers don't get to flaunt themselves before the wife. Gagging on bile, I texted back, where was this energy earlier? You enjoy stealing husbands? Her reply came instantly, we loved each other for 7 years. If anyone's the homewrecker, it's not me. Besides, the one who isn't loved is the real homewrecker. So according to her twisted logic, I ruined their 7-year relationship? The audacity. More texts bombarded me, stop clinging to him. If I call, he'll come running. Then the final taunt, just divorce him. You know you can't win. But I never wanted to compete. The moment I learned about the other woman in Ryan's heart, my only goals became divorce and asset division. A soiled man isn't worth keeping. After blocking July, I called Mia. Mia, can you come with me to the hospital? You sound off. Are you sick? I'm coming over. She arrived in 20 minutes. When I opened the door, she gasped. What happened to you? I recounted everything about Ryan and July with detached calmness, as if narrating someone else's tragedy. Yet the story moved Mia to tears. They'll get what's coming. Emily. She choked out. You've done nothing wrong. Your best days are ahead. I'd meant to stay composed, but her kindness shattered me, pressing tissues to my face. I mumbled. My appointment's this afternoon. Let's go. Mia gently touched my swollen belly, her voice trembling on the verge of tears. The baby, it's already 5 months along. My heart shattered as tears streamed down onto my belly. I'm so sorry. Little one. Truly sorry. Mommy can't keep you. At the hospital, after completing all examinations, the doctor hesitated before asking, the fetus is fully formed now. Are you absolutely certain? Afraid my baby might hear and feel heartbroken. I whispered a barely audible yes. The physician nodded, gesturing toward the cold operating table. The steel needle slowly penetrated my tailbone. After the injection, my consciousness gradually faded. When I awoke in the recovery room, Mia informed me the procedure was complete, though I'd mentally prepared for this moment. Touching my deflated abdomen left me feeling hollowed out as if Arctic winds whistled through the cavity where life once grew. The physical pain paled against the soul-rending agony. Losing this 5-month pregnancy felt like surrendering part of my own mortality. I dared not dwell on memories. Each thought of my baby brought fresh stabs of anguish, tears erupting like shattered crystal. My precious. I whispered to the emptiness. May you find a loving home next time. Parents who'll cherish you. A life brimming with joy. Long, fulfilling years. When Mia handed me my phone, she mentioned Ryan called several times during the procedure. I didn't answer. Numbly, I blocked his number without hesitation. As clarity returned in the hospital bed, realization struck: this child wasn't mine alone. Ryan deserved to know. Summoning feeble strength, I instructed Mia, package the surgical reports and medical records. Tell him I've returned his July. Mia hesitated before asking, should we include the remains? The question stole my breath. Tears cascading anew. I wanted Ryan condemned to eternal unrest, yet prayed my baby might find peace. They say Ryan remained bedridden for a week after receiving that package. When he finally stormed into Mia's apartment demanding confrontation, his fury evaporated upon seeing me. His jaw clenched through labored breaths before uttering hoarsely, "Do you hate me this much? You'd rather destroy yourself than bear my child?" Calm as still waters, I affirmed, yes. He turned away, avoiding my gaze. I remembered his excitement when we'd first learned about the pregnancy, spinning me joyfully despite my protests. The man who'd never boiled water suddenly became obsessed with cooking nutrient-rich meals from online recipes. During first trimester nausea, he'd scoured forums for remedies, testing each until finding relief. When my bump grew noticeable, he insisted on daily walks, convinced it'd ease delivery pains. I'd teased, since when do men know these things? He'd kissed my forehead murmuring, "You're giving me the ultimate gift of love. I'll cherish you forever." Forever proved fleeting. July arrived, and forever ended. Thinking of all this, my eyes stung slightly. Just a faint sting. Deep down, I knew these were all lies he'd spun for me, beautiful lies that could never become truth. He had his July, and I had my own path to walk. I said casually, "I'll email you the divorce papers tomorrow." He turned abruptly, anger flickering between his brows. "Are you really in such a hurry?" I remained silent, letting my silence answer. He laughed bitterly, hands trembling as his voice shook. "You're really this heartless? Just stopped loving me overnight?" Seeing this rare crack in his composure, I smiled too. Because my principles won't let me dig through the trash for a man. The words left me feeling lighter than I had in years. Ryan froze where he stood. I glanced at Mia, who immediately understood, scrambling to open the door and usher him out. Mia hovered around me like an anxious sparrow, chattering nonstop to distract me from the tension. "Emily, there's something I need to confess." "What is it?" "That day you asked me to deliver the gift box to Ryan. I didn't put the baby ultrasound inside, but I stuffed it full of printed baby photos instead. You should have seen his face when he opened it." She peeked at me nervously. "You're not mad, are you? He's the father. Seeing his child isn't unreasonable. But what if he uses this against you during the divorce?" I should have kept my temper in check. "I'll gather evidence of his affair. He can't touch me." Mia studied me before breaking into a wry smile. "You've changed, Em. To survive snakes, you grow fangs. It's a good thing." Her eyes glistened even as she nodded. "Yeah, a good thing." Maybe recent storms had washed my vision clear. I squeezed her shoulder. "Don't pity me. I'd rather face hurricanes than wilt in some greenhouse." A week later, I mailed Ryan the lawyer-reviewed divorce papers. Days crawled by without his signature. Reluctantly, I unblocked his number. He answered on the first ring. "Wife." The old endearment made my breath hitch. "Ryan. What's wrong with the divorce terms?" "Nothing." "When will you sign?" "Someday." "What's someday?" The click of a lighter hissed through the receiver. After 30 seconds, his voice rasped. "Is this really necessary?" I didn't understand his hesitation. No child bound us anymore. Repeating this conversation is exhausting. He chuckled darkly. "Fine." Another week passed. Still no signed papers. Meanwhile, July bombarded me with demands to vanish from Ryan's life. Tired of her theatrics, I snapped. I sent him divorce papers last month. He refuses to sign. Now what? She sent a manifesto detailing their college romance, shared instant noodles in cramped dorms, counting pennies for bus fare. As if poverty souvenirs could glue their broken fairy tale back together. He treated me incredibly well. Like spoiling a child. Every holiday and birthday, he'd prepare a bouquet of flowers. Gifts were never lacking. After we moved in together, he'd make breakfast before I woke up and draw foot soaking water for me at night. Handling all household chores himself. All his friends knew about me because every one of his social media accounts was named July, literally translating to the month itself. He even told friends they shouldn't bother attending his wedding if he didn't marry July. My parents praised him as the best man in the world. If we hadn't broken up, how could it be your turn to marry him? The message read. He doesn't love you. Let him go. Reading this, I felt no anger, only pity. She believed Ryan Harper had given her unique devotion. She didn't realize he'd done all those things for me too. Hadn't I agreed to marry Ryan precisely because he treated me so well? Keeping my tone civil, I replied, fine. I'll meet him today to discuss the divorce. My phone rang instantly. July's shrill voice pierced through. Emily. Are you shameless? Stop seducing Ryan. Don't you dare see him. If I don't force him to sign the papers, you'll forever be his dirty secret. He must want this, you're manipulating him. What did you do? I scoffed, instead of harassing me. Why not pressure him yourself? You claim he adores you. Yet he's letting you play the homewrecker? She hung up. Relieved I'd escaped her delusions. I sighed. After recuperating at Mia's place for a month, I returned to work. Disillusioned by marriage, I threw myself into projects. Colleagues noticed. Emily. Why the overtime marathons? Doesn't your husband mind? I set down my pen. I'm filing for divorce. Gasps erupted. But you two were perfect. What happened? Simple, when love dies, you walk away. Clinging only destroys you. I deflected further questions with a smile. That evening, a coworker hissed, your husband's waiting downstairs. I leaned out the left window. Sunset blurred Ryan's face, but his slumped posture radiated desolation. I snapped a photo and sent it to July. Within seconds, Ryan's phone rang. He raised it as if to smash it, then froze, spotting me. Our eyes locked. He stood rigid, a bowstring pulled taut. I smiled brightly. Half an hour later, July's WeChat exploded with rage, complete with screenshots. Don't get too cocky, Emily. I've told you before, whenever I need him, Ryan will drop everything for me. In the photo, Ryan leaned against the window with a cigarette between his lips. His expression blurred by swirling smoke. He used to smoke constantly when we first got together, but quit entirely after I got pregnant for the baby's sake. He'd confessed starting the habit during his darkest days, swearing he'd never relapse no matter how hard life got. I forced nonchalance into my reply, worth bragging about? He didn't sleep with you. The response left July speechless with rage. Days later, she sent another photo during Ryan's company gala. He brought me to the annual event. We're back together. Cool. Not that this surprised me. Ryan's startup owed its success to my efforts. I'd borrowed $1 million from Mia to save his crumbling business 3 years ago. Then endured endless client dinners to help him network. Every employee knew I was Mrs. Harper. When July paraded arm in arm with Ryan at the gala, the VP accidentally approached me. Haven't seen you around the office lately, Mrs. Harper. Been busy. I lied. He feigned hesitation. Well, there's a woman with Ryan tonight. Maybe his cousin? What woman? Show me. After exaggerated reluctance, he sent photos, July wrapping her arms around Ryan's neck for a selfie. His dazed expression hinting at intoxication. Another of her perched on his lap. The last showed her collapsing into his arms. Perfectly incriminating. Then July crossed into madness, forwarding a used condom photo. Who said he wouldn't touch me? The image burned my retinas. When I demanded proof it involved Ryan, she instantly sent a shirtless shot of him with her palm pressed over his lips, both radiating post-passion lethargy. Exactly what I needed. I printed 3 copies of all evidence. One mailed to Ryan. One to the court. The last to my mother. My divorce lawsuit citing adultery and demanding full asset forfeiture moved swiftly. The day Ryan received court papers, he borrowed a friend's phone to call. Saw the photos. No need for ugliness, I'll agree to the divorce. How should we divide the assets? The bank cards and the marital home can go to you. We'll split the company shares 50-50. No. I want 51% of the shares. He wilted like a frostbitten eggplant, drained of all vitality. Whatever I demanded, he agreed. Fine. Consider this compensation for you and the baby. I hung up immediately. A week later, Ryan and I finalized our divorce. The day after he transferred his shares to me, I sold 49% to Vice President's son. Now Vice President's son and Ryan hold equal stakes in the company. Locked in a stalemate. The remaining 2% of the shares I keep could overturn the entire board anytime. Holding these 2% feels like clutching Ryan's life work in my palm. Whenever he displeases me, I threaten to toss these shares to Vice President's son. Since then, Ryan's never dared cross me again. Strangely, even after the divorce, July keeps haunting me like some vengeful spirit. She lashed out unreasonably, "Emily, you shameless gold digger. How dare you take so much from Ryan?" I shrugged. Ryan wanted to give it. Her face purpled. He paid you out of guilt for the child he lost. Not because he cares. You manipulated him with those ultrasound photos. The real villains here are you two. I retorted before blocking her again. Finally free from the toxic past, peace settled over my days. During her visit to my villa, Mia dropped a bombshell. After your divorce, Ryan called me. What did he want? Mia rested her chin on her palm, recalling. He said, when I visited Emily after the procedure, she looked like an empty shell lying there, like she might fade away any moment. I panicked then. I won't bother her again, please watch over her. Mia scoffed. I told him his belated remorse was worthless and to stay far away from us. I chuckled bitterly, proving that old saying, people always want what they can't have. Months later, I bumped into Ryan's childhood friend downtown. He awkwardly greeted, "Mrs. Harper, don't." I cut him off. July never married Ryan. She'd slit her wrists whenever he disagreed, scared him off completely. As he rambled, I glared. Why tell me? Let them torture each other. I'll enjoy my peace. Epilogue: I hadn't returned home since the explosive fight with Mom. Now that the divorce was settled, she deserved to know. That Sunday, I found her house empty. Mrs. Chin, I asked the neighbor watering geraniums, "Have you seen my mother?" Auntie pointed ahead and said, "Go check the street. She's definitely selling oranges there." I frowned. What's an old lady doing selling citrus in this freezing weather? I hurried down the icy pavement, turning the corner to find my mom clutching oranges while arguing with a muscle-bound guy. "You ate 2 already. How can you just walk away?" Her breath formed white puffs in the air. "Chill, Granny. So what if I sampled a couple?" The man towered over her, leather jacket straining across his shoulders. "Not like your wrinkly-ass oranges are worth paying for anyway." My mom grabbed his sleeve. "Respect your elders. You can't just dash." Enough. I wedged myself between them, glaring up at the 6-foot-tall nuisance. "Got a problem? Take it up with me." He snorted, looking me up and down. Whatever. This ain't worth my time. As he stalked off, my mom started rearranging her overturned crate. Kids these days, she muttered, scrubbing a bruised orange on her threadbare coat. No manners. Are you insane? I gripped her chapped hands, still smelling of citrus peel. What if he'd shoved you? You could have broken a hip. She kept polishing fruits with mechanical precision. Need the money. For what? I send you allowance every month. Frost crystals clung to her eyelashes as she met my gaze. You're on your own now. The divorce. I need to build your safety net. Her cracked lips trembled. I remember being 35 with empty cupboards. Won't let that happen to you. The admission hit like a sucker punch. I watched her gnarled fingers, still deftly rotating oranges to hide blemishes, hands that had scrubbed floors to pay my college deposit. That had held me through childhood fevers in unheated apartments. Mom, my throat closed as snowflakes melted in her gray roots. Divorce isn't failure. Sometimes staying's more painful than leaving. She pretended not to hear, fussing with her pricing sign. That stubborn old mule would never understand. But as I helped haul the crate home, our gloved hands brushing, I finally saw her endless orange selling winters for what they were, not about the fruit, but about having something to give long after society deems you useless.